Tony, I heard you have a story about a new Mirai variant called Okiru.
The Okiru Botnet, as you said, is a variant of the Mirai botnet. It's also called Satori. But the thing that really brings this one into perspective is the researchers at Malware Must Die did some research and found out that this particular botnet is targeting ARC processors. ARC standing for Argonaut RISC Core is the second most popular processor that's available out to the public. It's behind many different computing products, not only just, standard systems, but also IoT devices. Pretty much anything that you can name, there's a good chance that an ARC processor is behind it. So with this one, it is the first time that they've ever seen that processor being targeted by this sort of botnet. And some independent researchers also confirmed that and stated that the malware being used was ELF, which ELF is a malware that's targeting Linux operating systems. So putting those two together, we now have a new facet of targets out on the internet. The article also stated that on average, 1 to 2 billion of these processors are being pushed out into the public yearly.
They're sold very cheap. They probably have very little to no security built into them. The end user that's buying these devices, they're probably not fully aware of the security practices and how to secure those devices.
That means, it's a potential impact if they are leveraged for, DDoS kind of activity, which we have seen with the earlier versions of Mirai, that could really cause significant damage.
Just as a recap, the biggest DDoS attack that was recorded by a botnet, an IoT botnet, did a 1 terabyte per second DDoS attack, and that only had 152,000 devices.
Even if 1 or 2% of these devices yearly are infected, that's already more than the Jain DNS attack, the 1 terabits per second. It's kind of scary.
It absolutely is. Just the idea of having that new layer to it is something that I think cybersecurity professionals should really be talking about, whether you're a business that uses IoT or even if you're just at home and you're popping these devices on your network. It's something to be concerned about, because in the long run, what I've found is to make sure that you're safe with these things is just to try to harden it, try to secure it as much as you can, not just plug it in and throw it out there. This article was really interesting because I got a feeling that we'll all be talking about this in the future.
What can be done to kind of mute these types of attacks?
One of my personal opinions and thoughts about it is anytime, whether you're doing this for personal use or you're a corporation, take an inventory of all of your devices that have, in this instance, Linux-based ARC processor exposed to the internet, and do what you can to protect them, to harden the device from said attacks. It's something that I think everyone that wants to play in the IoT landscape really just needs to do. And if you don't have the expertise in it, there's always resources out there, an opportunity to learn something additional to what you do on a daily basis, just to make sure that you not only protect you protect your company, but you also protect the internet as a whole. These things get wrapped up in 100, 200,000 devices. It can do a lot of damage.
I think hopefully with the new wireless standard, probably most of these, the drawbacks could be addressed. And I'm hoping the new standard will be
WPS 3.0,
yes.
Right? However, it's still going to take a few years.
Yeah, but I think we were going the right direction with the things they are proposing. Encryption between the IoT devices, as actually Tony said.
Right.
Hopefully, we'll see some good results very soon.
Sooner rather than later, right?
Yeah.
If you don't need the IoT device, don't plug it into the internet. I think that's basically it. If you're just doing it for a hobby and you're not really fully aware of security and things like that, just don't plug it into the internet.